So the Chancellor announced the creation of 8 new free ports in the UK. This must be an amazing opportunity for our country. I have a bit of a look. Here's my analysis of these free ports and the opportunity that goes with it. So welcome and thanks for tuning in. So UK free ports, what are they? What are we talking about here? Yeah, it was this week, just a couple of days ago, that the UK Chancellor of the Exchequer announced the creation of free ports. Now, that sounds great. A lot of things that are free. We like things that are free. So let's have a look. What are these free ports and what can they do for the UK economy, but also for globally trading businesses, for our UK businesses that want to venture into the world, for businesses that are already ventured into the world, that are already experiencing the joys of global trade. What does it mean for importers, exporters outside the UK? What does it mean for multinational global businesses? Lots of questions around free ports this week in the UK. So here it goes. What are free ports? What's the UK plan? What is important to know about free ports, especially for cross-border trading businesses? What are the advantages of free ports? And if there are advantages, there are probably going to be some counter arguments as well. So look at those too, right? All fair play here. So what are we looking forward to then in 2022 or whenever this is happening? I'll draw a bit of a conclusion. So what are free ports? Well, 8 free ports are to become, eight English ports are to become free ports under the plans announced by the Chancellor. And the government defines this port as secure customs zones located at ports where business can be carried out inside a country's land border, but where different customs rules apply. So again, it's about customs. And it's about diverging, if you want, from the norm, which would be the UK or GB, I should say. These are free trade zones, also known in America. We know them as foreign trade zones, and we know them broadly as free trade zones. And they are designated areas where normal tariff and tax rules of the country in which they're based do normally not apply. And they are located geographically in our country, in GB. However, they essentially exist outside our borders, at least for customs and tax purposes. And within the EU, there are currently 82 free ports or zones in 21 EU member states. So it's not like it's something completely new. Actually, we've been operating this in the EU already for a long time, and there is legislation to allow it to happen. Croatia's big. There was a big free port in Germany. Very sad to see that one go. Yeah, many, including Ireland. Ireland has a free port. Did you know, Shannon? Anyway, so Copenhagen, Bremen, Freihafen Bremen, right? So what are these locations? So congratulations to having secured this location, East Midlands Airport. What do we notice? Well, we notice this is not only about a maritime port. This is also about airport and the surrounding region. Now, questions remain about how big this area will actually be. So we gotta wait and see. Not everything's known. Felixstowe, Harwich, the Humber region, Liverpool City region, Plymouth, Solent, Thames, and Teesside are all selected. And the operations should start from late 2021, maybe a little later, we'll see. So what's the government's plan? Well, the UK wants free ports to be national hubs for global trade and investment. The plan is to create jobs, especially highly skilled jobs, and create hotbeds for innovation where free ports will serve to be a dynamic environment. It should enable innovators, startup businesses, and regulators to generate and test new ideas and technologies around a range of services. And as the government puts it, it will exemplify the future economy, and it will unlock billions of investment in trade and jobs. Sounds absolutely fantastic, and we wish the government and these 8 ports very well of getting that off the ground and done. Now, how can global businesses in the UK or around the world, even in the EU, benefit from free ports? Well, what should you look forward to? What is there to plan if it happens by 2021? Well, there's not a lot of time, is there? So simplified customs procedures. Yeah, potentially not much of a customs declaration needed here. You're not even entering the UK, even though you're kind of entering the UK because you're on UK ground. So, and I should say GB, of course, right? Free ports can reduce administrative burden and tariff controls and cut red tape and streamline services that you can offer there. I mean, the most famous one I know of, or I think of, is Jebel in the United Arab Emirates, close to Dubai. And that is a absolutely stunning place where there is no customs tariff, but there's also no corporation tax, there's no VAT, there is no everything. However, there is possibility to process everything and store everything, well, almost everything, and that as long as you want within the whole area. Now, if you know customs, you know that normally you need to get a authorization to do inward processing or outward processing. You need to also do and get a customs authorization for your warehouse to call it customs warehouse and suspend customs duty. You might not have to do that in a free zone. Once you're in, well, it doesn't matter where you go within the free zone, it's all free zone, right? So you can have a hub or a shed or a warehouse where you manufacture, then you have another warehouse where you store without any additional paperwork. That's the beauty of a free zone, and that's what Jebel in the United Arab Emirates is. And it's so strategically located, the United Arab Emirates ones, is that you could bring goods there, store them for a while, and then ship them around again, or bring them to a different part of the world. So, you're right in center in the kind of the middle of the world, depending on your view, of course, where the middle of the world is. But you get my gist, right? It's strategically well located, so that if you wanted to park your goods somewhere, well, you better do it without having to pay duty and tax, right? So that is why this is some argue is a really good idea. So if you can get into this area, relatively straightforward and without a lot of hustle and red tape and form filling, and you can do basically what you want in this whole area, well, that should be good, right? That should give businesses incentives. And then it doesn't really matter if you are from Singapore or you are from Brazil or you are from Canada or you are from Poland. Once you're in, right? And that means different people can come together and exchange different ideas. And that is potentially the innovation drive that the UK government is looking for. And of course, there is quite a lot of tax incentive to be considered here. No corporation tax potentially, or no VAT, no customs duty. That is tempting. It really is. So, and then of course, jobs could of course also be created, right? So the people are having to work to make all this happen. More people need to be employed. These people then enter the free zones, work, and then go home and bring their earnings back to them and back to their neighborhood and back to their villages and cities, and that should create some good results, right? So that's what I've tried to put in here. We have relief of customs duties relating to the handling and the processing of goods destined for re-export. So you bring the goods in, you do something with them, and then you bring them back out, right? And because you didn't enter them into a free circulation, right, into the UK, there's no duty that you ought to pay. Then there's cash flow benefits of not having to pay duty until the moments are released to free circulation. So you could, of course, after you've done your processing in the free zone without paying duty, you could bring them to the UK, in which case you'd have to pay duty. But that could be delayed. You could pay that later. And so rather than on entry, and so there could be a cash flow advantage, right? Businesses also stand to gain financial benefits provided by the government, incentives for relocating into free ports. And there are different ways of producing goods that offer a tax benefit. that can also be explored. Now, as much as it is great, and as much as I've welcomed this initiative, and as much as I think this is a game changer for the UK, we got to be fair to the fact that if it was so great, why isn't the EU hyping up its 81 free ports? I see very little active advertising for making these free ports, highlighting how great they are and how wonderful they are. So, and then this idea of zero taxes in this area that is kind of closed for anybody from that country, there must be something, right? There must be something that speaks against, or that is a challenge associated with free ports. And yes, some critics argue free ports simply defer the point when import tariffs are paid. They still need to be paid at some stage, because you can't ship into a free port, then ship out of the free port. At some point, you need to arrive somewhere, right? At some point, you need to sell your goods. And when you sell your goods, you need customers, and you need to import it and then pay the duty. Now, so there is some clever customs and tax planning that's needed. There is also the argument, of course, that it could be used for less optimal uses, or uses that we don't really like and that we think ought not to happen. This ranges from things like counterfeits that might be processed in a free trade zone without doing, to dealing with, and that might require then control by customs officials. And this might be a problem. There are also, of course, claims of money laundering and other illicit trades that might be going on under an area that is not controlled by customs, or less controlled by customs. And there have been reports from the European Parliament in 2018, was it, that analyze what the benefits and also problems are with these free ports. So it is a fine balance to strike here, because be that as it may, free port or not, the UK will still be subject to the WTO, the World Trade Organization rules. And so you got to think about this, because there are structures in place which will make it difficult for you to simply subsidize or create free ports and subsidize them as you wish. So, these are all things to carefully consider. Now, there's even studies out there that show that free ports aren't this big ticket idea that they are sometimes made out to be, and that it might be quite difficult to think that this will elevate the UK standing, because when we think about it, our tax system as relates to customs duty is already very low. We have almost one of the lowest rates of customs duties around ever. So if it is already quite easy to get into the UK money-wise, and the duty rate's not so high, then is this going to be an economic game changer? We will have to see, I guess. The details are not out yet. So, and then of course there are questions about whether this is actually a creation of job, or rather a relocation of jobs. Again, time will tell, because we are going into this direction anyway. There are questions about secrecy and anonymity, and so that needs to be considered carefully. And there are wider concerns about, do they really help the economy as a whole, and do they encourage the entire region to grow, or are they very just points in the on Google Map that will grow significantly? So you see, the case for free ports is a little nuanced. There is great potential here. We need to just be very clever about what we say and think about free ports, and what opportunities there really genuinely are for businesses. Fact is, the concept of it is to have a space outside the tax and customs jurisdiction of a country, whereby global businesses from Dubai to the US, from Argentina to South Korea can come, can process, can do business, and can then leave that territory without, or with minimal taxes, duties, and burdens and hassle. How this then translates into jobs and growth for the entire region, I can see, but others cannot see so much. Whether we can organize a system that allows us to be really, really proud and confident, say, well, in this free trade zone, there are no shenanigans going on. If we can show that, I think we have a really good chance and a really good potential to make Freeports work for the UK. So we have great 8 new Freeports. We hope it's going to go really, really well. And yeah, with that, guys, my time's already up. I hope you had a bit of a discussion view on Freeports and how they may work or how they may not work. I'd love to chat more about you. If you are thinking about going into a Freeport and you want to have a more detailed chat about what this means for your business, specifically reach out. Or if you're a Freeport and you're thinking about, what kind of businesses do I want to attract? How do I need to be set up? Then, also get in touch. We can have a bit of a chat. Don't forget that we at Customs Manager are really, really keen to provide you excellent customs and global trade training. We are a consultancy, so we provide advice, support for your business, bespoke to your needs. And of course, our customs managers, our experts in global trade are standing right ready for you. Just get in touch. And then, of course, don't forget that can't do nothing unless you are informed and up to date. So we offer bespoke trade intelligence. We monitor the law changes for you. No newsletter. Oh no, we are doing the real stuff. We're doing law monitoring bespoke for you so that you don't have to. You can save time, you can de-risk, and and get back to what you are doing best, and that's grow your business effectively and efficiently, and of course, with our help, even more compliantly. That's all for me. Thanks, guys, for watching. Bye.